What is going on, guys? I'm Suburban Angling, and today we're doing something a little different, something I've never done on my channel. We're doing an off the water video, and today we're talking about finesse baits. So I've done a few review videos on my channel. I've done a few videos where I talk about, products. I think I've talked about tackle once or twice on my channel. I made a video about the Helgramite, but overall, I've never done a video where I talk about a specific lure or specific lures, a specific company, anything like that, and I really go in depth about that. You know what I mean? Today, we're gonna do that. I got a fish tank. I got some underwater footage of some awesome finesse baits that I think are gonna crush it this spring and honestly all open water season. And I got a really big announcement too. I'm really excited about this video, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am super excited. I am ready to do this. I got the ring light, I got my SONY camera, I got the fish tank, I got my tripod set up, and I did everything I could to make sure that I, made a quality video really showcasing these lures and the quality of them. And I'm also going to talk about why they're quality and some unique traits about these baits. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Alright, so first, we're going to talk about the brand. The brand is going to be, see if we can get that to focus, Tactical Fishing Gear. It might be backwards, I don't know, but that's going to be the brand we're talking about today, Tactical Fishing Gear. And they make rods, they make lures, they sell apparel too, and obviously today we're going to be talking about their lures, we're talking about their baits. And the first one that we're going to be talking about is going to be this one right here, the caliber worm. So that bait right there is going to be in the color Assassin. As you can see, let's get it turned to the side a little bit into the light. It has a lot of nice natural flecks in it, some yellow flecks, green fleck, purple fleck. It is just a great bait. You can see compared to my thumbnail, the head of it is pretty small, but the butt of it is pretty fat. So that's going to give it a really unique action in the water. You guys are actually going to see, that's going to be really apparent when I show you the underwater footage. Great on a Ned, great on a drop shot. It's really going to surprise you, the action that this gives on a Ned though. It's really unique. Not, it does what a Ned bait should do, but it just does it so well compared to other Ned baits that I think it makes it unique. You know what I mean? So, talk about caliber worm right there. I also got another color in smelt. That's the video. This is actually the color that's going to be in the demo today. Before I dive into the other baits that we're going to talk about today, I think that it would be probably best if we just dived right into the underwater footage of the caliber worm, seeing as that's the bait I just showed you. So let's dive right into that. I'm going to show you that right now. Alright guys, so this is the caliber worm on a drop shot. So right away you can see that this plastic is actually very buoyant and it floats. And another brand that comes to mind for me when I think of buoyant plastics is Z-Man. And another thing about Z-Man's plastics that makes them super popular is not only their the elastic, the buoyancy of it and the way that it sits upright on a Ned rig, but also the durability of it. And this bait is no different. The caliber worm is going to be one of those awesome baits to drop shot because, as you see, it's a sit there and do nothing bait. The moment you're done jigging it, it sits perfectly vertical. And then you can jig the worm and it's going to have tons of crazy action, especially in that big fat tail. And like I said, it's durable, so it's going to catch you 40, 50 fish a day. There's, it has that, it's called recoil plastic. That's what Tactical Fishing Gear calls, their version of the Elastec plastic, but basically it holds onto the barb perfectly, and there's pretty much no worries of this thing coming off the hook. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to catch, like I said, 40, 50 fish a day on this bait, because every single time that fish goes up to jump and shake the bait, that soft plastic is going to stick to the barb and not come off. So let's get right into the caliber worm on the Ned rig. Alright, so here is the caliber worm on a Ned head. And I know earlier I mentioned there was something really unique about this thing on the Ned head. And as you guys can see, look at the way that once you drag that bait and it's sitting, horizontal, flat to the ground, it can just sit straight back up. And I think that's going to make this, obviously Ned rigs are really great for finicky bass in general, but I think that's going to make the caliber worm especially deadly because you're jigging it, you're hopping it, you're doing whatever, and the moment you stop that bait, for 3, 4, 5 seconds it's still moving, slowly rising up with that big fat tail. And I think that's going to entice a lot of bass that may not have bit it. Your hops might be a little too aggressive for them, but once that tail slowly goes back up, it might entice them just enough to slurp that Ned rig up. So those are my thoughts on this bait anyway, caliber worm on the Ned rig. Alright guys, so now that you've seen the underwater footage of the caliber worm, and now that we've talked a little bit about the action on the bait, I think that we can both agree it's gonna catch fish, right? But that doesn't make a lure unique. You know what I mean? There's a lot of baits out there that catch fish. There are a lot of drop shot style baits. There are a lot of Ned style baits that catch fish. So what makes the Tactical Fishing Gear caliber worm a unique bait? The first thing I want to talk about is going to be durability. So as you saw right there, these things can stretch out, I mean, even farther than this, right? That's going to be really similar to a company that many of you are familiar with, which is going to be Z-Man. Now they obviously market their, stretch style soft plastic, has the recoil plastic versus Z-Man, which is going to be Elastec. I personally believe that this Tactical Fishing Gear recoil plastic is stronger than Elastec. When I was taking these off the hook after my lure demonstration, they didn't even want to come off the hook. They stuck to the barb and to the hook keeper so well. It really made me appreciate them, appreciate the quality of them, because obviously I've been a fan of Z-Man for many years. I've been using their baits for, as long as I've been fishing, and I can definitely tell you that these are going to be a new staple, and they're going to start to rival some of those Z-Man baits that I use. I'm going to be using these a lot, guys. I'm going to be using these on the Ned. I'm going to be using these in the drop shot. I'm going to be catching a lot of fish on these, and I want you guys to be catching fish on these baits too. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, if you're interested in the caliber worm, I got a link in the description for all this stuff I'm going to talk about today. But I don't want to ramble too much about this particular lure. We've already talked about it. You guys have already seen the underwater footage. We know it's going to be a banger. So let's get straight into the next lure. Alright guys, so now that we've talked a little bit about the caliber worm and what that brings to the table, I want to talk about the next lure in this video, and that is going to be the Sniper Goby. So right off the bat, you can tell by the fat head and the skinny tail and just the overall profile that this bait gives off, it's going to be something you're going to want to throw in a Ned rig, right? And in the underwater footage that I am about to show you guys, that's going to be really apparent. It looks great on a Ned. You can hop it, you can drag it. It's made out of that same great recoil plastic material that the caliber worm is made out of. So, you're still going to be able to catch plenty of fish on it, one lure all day. And obviously, since it's made with that recoil plastic, it's also going to float the exact same as the caliber worm. So you're going to get great action from this tail, which, as you can see, it droops down really well. It has a great bend in it. It's not stiff at all. But then once it's in the water, it's going to float right up. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to hop this thing, and then once it hops and sits, instead of that tail bending over like that, it's going to float perfectly straight up, and it's just going to give this thing a really great action. That tail's going to float around really great when you're fishing it in a river, and if you're fishing it in a lake, it's still, the way the tail's designed, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to focus on this at all, but it's basically designed like this, right? So it catches the water going up and down or side to side. You know what I mean? So even if you're not fishing in any current, any moving water, anything that's going around in that lake, that tail is just going to be moving around, giving off plenty of action. And I think it's going to be a really great bait. So I don't want to ramble too much. I definitely want to show you guys the action of these baits. I don't want to just talk about them. So let's get right into the underwater footage. Alright guys, so this is the Sniper Goby in the color Spit Up. Right off the bat, you can just see the tail has some great action. I really hoped I did a good job of explaining the shape of the tail, but if not, I kind of came up with a better idea for it. It's basically shaped like an airplane tail, right? It has a horizontal fin going out wide, and then it has a vertical fin on top of that horizontal fin, giving it a really great unique action going up and down or side to side. You know what I mean? It's not just doing one swimming action. You can actually hop it or swim it, and the tail is going to be able to do both. You know what I mean? So it's just really awesome, especially the fact that it's made with that recoil plastic as well. So once you stop moving the bait, that little fin wants to float right back up, and obviously it's going to be durable too, catch you 40-50 fish a day. As long as you don't snag that Ned head, you're going to be catching fish on one bait and not have to change your soft plastic, and that's something that can get really annoying, and that's one reason why I really like these baits. So not only can you put this thing on a Ned rig, but you can also throw it on a drop shot, and that's what I'm going to show you guys right now. Alright guys, so here's the Sniper Goby on a drop shot. You know, I really don't have too much to say about it on the drop shot. It looks great, but so do a lot of other baits on the drop shot. But I do like the added versatility of it because, you know, it really is great. It does shine bright on the Ned rig. I mean, it shines bright here too, but especially on the Ned rig. And the point that I'm getting to is, you know, let's say you're at the lake, you're throwing the Ned, you're finesse fishing, your buddy next to you is throwing the drop shot, he's catching him, you're not. You can easily take that bait right off the Ned, and with the durability of that recoil plastic, you're going to be able to tie a drop shot and use that exact same soft plastic. You don't got to go into the pack and grab a new one, right? Grab the same soft plastic you just took off your Ned rig, slip it on the drop shot, and you know, you have a whole new rig and a whole new presentation and a different way to catch fish. And obviously, you know, you can even use this. I haven't talked about this really, and I didn't do any underwater footage of it, but you could use the Sniper Goby as a finesse jig trailer, and that's something that I'm going to be testing out a little bit this year. But I really haven't, you know, I don't have any jigs that fit the size of this, and I don't really think it'd be smart to cut it down, but you never know until you try, and it's definitely something that I think I should try. So maybe we'll see some underwater footage of that in the future, but for now, here is the Sniper Goby on a drop shot. Alright guys, so now that we've talked about the tactical fishing gear lures, we've talked about their durability, we've talked about their action, let's talk about where you can get these things. Let's talk about how to obtain them, right? So down below in the description, I think I might have mentioned this one time before in the video, but just in case I didn't, down below in the description, I have a link to get these baits, because they're not on Tackle Warehouse, they're not on, you know, BassPro.com, none of that stuff. They're going to be on OrderBaits.com, which, like I said, I have a link to down below in the description, and I actually also have my own personalized discount code given to me from Tactical Fishing Gear, so shout out to them. You know, they're sponsoring this video, you could say, and they gave me these lures, and it's just really nice to say that I've come to a point where I have, you know, companies noticing me and willing to take chances on me and willing to let me represent them and showcase their stuff. But I also want to say that does not mean that I am just out here telling you guys go get this stuff because, you know, I'm getting discounts on it or I'm getting it for free or anything like that. You know, I would never promote something that I don't truly believe is a quality product, is a durable product, is something that will catch fish, or is something that would help you catch fish. You know what I mean? So like I said, I want to reiterate, I would never promote something that I wouldn't use myself, and that's going to be, you know, I'm going to stay true to that. You know, I'm going to be using these lures all spring, all summer. I'm going to be slamming fish on them, and I want to show you guys that I'm not just going to talk about something and then never use it myself but expect you guys to go out there and spend your hard-earned money on it. You know, I'm going to be using these things too because, like I said, I truly believe they're going to catch fish. So link down below, discount code down below, type in Suburban Angling at checkout, get 15% off. Pretty sweet deal. That's all I want to talk to you guys about today. I wanted to do a little, you know, lure demonstration video. I think it came out pretty well. I'm doing my best with what I got. You know, I got my ring light, I got my tripod, my Sony camera out today. I got the fish tank. I did everything I could to give these lures what I think is a pretty quality showcase. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed these lures. And if you're interested in the lures, like I said, link down below. Check them out. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope to see you in the next video.